All right, let's get into it. Today, we're talking about something that could totally change the way you do research. You know that feeling, right? When you're just buried under a mountain of papers, trying to connect all the dots between different sources. It's like you're lost at sea in an ocean of information.
Yeah? Does this look familiar? I bet it does. A folder packed with PDFs, a ton of browser tabs open, spreadsheets full of raw data, and you have to somehow make sense of it all? For anyone in academia or research, this isn't just a minor headache. It's usually the biggest bottleneck holding you back.
But what if that entire process could be flipped on its head? I mean, what if the most boring, time-sucking parts, all that summarizing and synthesizing, could just happen automatically? So you could leap straight to the good stuff, the insights. Well, that's the big change we're going to explore today. So first, let's just call the problem what it is: modern research overload. Look, it's great that we have access to so much information. But for anyone doing serious work, that abundance means a ton of manual labor just to sort through it all, let alone share what you've learned. So what's the answer to this overload? Well, it's a totally new kind of tool, an AI research assistant. We're going to be looking at a specific feature from a tool called NotebookLM, which is designed to do all that heavy lifting for you. The core idea here is something called a video overview. So what is that? Well, you feed the AI all of your source materials, your notes, articles, even images, and it automatically spits out a narrated slide presentation. And the really cool part isn't just that it summarizes text, it actually builds a coherent visual story for you. This quote really just nails it. It's not just a fancy summarizer. It's more like a tool that learns your material and then teaches it back to you. It's smart enough to pull out the most important quotes, find the key data points, and weave them into a narrative. It makes really complex stuff so much easier to understand. Which, of course, leads to the big question. Okay, that sounds cool, but how hard is it to use? You'd think something this powerful would be super technical, but the whole point here is to make it incredibly simple. We're talking about creating these videos with basically one click. The whole process really just breaks down into 3 easy steps. First, you just upload your sources. Dump all your PDFs, docs, whatever you have into one place. Second, you just hit the video overview button. The AI gets to work, analyzes everything, and builds the slideshow. And then third, and this is powerful, you can tweak it with a simple prompt. You can tell it, hey, explain this like I'm a beginner, or focus only on the financial data. It's that easy. Okay, so now that we know what this thing is and how it works, let's get to the fun part, the practical, real-world applications. The source material we looked at lays out some seriously powerful productivity hacks that show how this can save you a ton of time and, honestly, help you think better. So let's dive into these 10 hacks. They pretty much fall into 3 big categories of academic work. You've got research and review, then teaching and mentoring, and finally, collaborating with your team. All right, let's start with the research itself. Just look at this comparison between the old way and the new AI-powered way. A literature review that could take you days of dense reading, now it's a series of instant video summaries. Or instead of you having to manually walk someone through a complicated chart, the AI can generate a video that literally narrates the story of the data for you. Get this, you can even upload a research proposal and ask the AI to act like a peer reviewer, pointing out weak spots before you ever send it to a real person. That's a game changer. And these benefits, they flow right into teaching. Imagine turning a super dense textbook chapter into a 5-minute video summary for your students. This is huge for things like the flipped classroom model. You can create that kind of content in minutes, not hours. It just makes it so much easier to share really complex ideas in a format that people will actually watch and understand. And finally, let's talk teamwork. You can get your whole research team on the same page by feeding the AI a mix of documents, a PDF, a presentation, a spreadsheet, and having it create one single video that ties it all together. Or think about this. Turn that hour-long meeting transcript into a 2-minute video highlighting the key action items. The source also mentioned that multilingual summaries are coming soon, which could totally break down barriers for international teams. So, when you put all these pieces together, you start to see something much bigger taking shape. This really points to what you could call the future of knowing. It feels like we're shifting from an era where we had to manually manage information to a new one where we can generate understanding whenever we need it. This isn't just about saving time, it's about changing our entire relationship with knowledge itself.
So what does this all mean for you? Well, it's like you're getting a new set of superpowers. You can get a new team member up to speed almost instantly. You can share knowledge way faster. You're going to save countless hours on prep work. And maybe most importantly, you can make really complex stuff accessible to basically anyone, even if they're not an expert. And this leaves us with one last big question to think about. If we can actually automate all that grunt work, the summarizing, the synthesizing, what does that free up? It frees up our brain power, which is our most valuable asset. So the real question isn't just about what the AI can do for us. It's about what new questions, what new ideas, and what amazing discoveries we will make with all that time and mental energy back in our hands. The ideas and hacks we talked about in this explainer were distilled from an article by Grad Passion. They explore how AI is being used in academia. So if this stuff is interesting to you, you should definitely check out their work on Facebook. That's all for this explainer. Thanks for tuning in.